Kişi böyle oldu.
Kişi olsun olmaz. Каждый регион называл каждый город.
Sonra şimarmış falan işlemiyorsun şimdi.
İlk saatte 3 saat kaldı. 3 saat. 9'da basılı öyle.
Niye yemizler?
Yarın geçti.
Temizlerim. Temizlerim. Asıl
Hafta o senin gibi mi?
Asıl ya.
Bekledik daha zapis. Zuppi.
Zuppi?
Evet.
Ой.
Evet, zuppi zaten. Hiç korkmadan neredeyse. Знаем ли смысл было, конечно? Надеюсь, справляетесь. Следующий раз за Ayrımcıların basaya geçsin.
Bilmiyoruz ki taşıma işi gibi.
Kaç kişi?
Şarkı yaptım.
Sevcanı yok. Basaya geçmiş. Kaç kere veriyor?
Мама совершила посещение уже, то есть не сидели просто. Все стандартные квартиры. Ее во всех списках. Список сразу. Ага. А через какой ссылка телефон нежелательно, да? А через какой больше? Да, смысл. Да? Ссылкаларыңызда тоже іштерде формасында. Бұл шарт болсам міне давай списать мүшесін жіберіп қоймын. Бірінші оқышты кіргізе берсін бе? Мына айта қойсыз ғой, да?
Да, смотрите. Здесь. İki müzik. Onda iki. İki koymuş.
Даже на шкет альтеривайся делать. Альтеривайся.
Anladım. Böyle iyi bir beceriyorsunuz. Nasıl? Evet.
Nasıl yani?
Evet. Güzel orası. That's it. All right. Are you ready for the examination?
Yes.
Okay. What is your full name and surname?
My name is Ағылшын.
Okay. So, do you enjoy sports or physical activities?
No, not really, because I'm not a sports person, and I don't really enjoy doing sports.
How often do students in your school have physical education classes?
Not really often. It's like 3 times a week, and sometimes they just skip it.
Do you skip it?
Sometimes.
Is it easy for teenagers in your region to access sport facilities?
And yes, it is, because we have a very big sport facility, and it is also free to join. So yeah, it is easy.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's the end of part one. Now it is part two. Just okay, talk a minute to look here.
A sport that I enjoy is volleyball. I started doing it when I was in 7th grade, and but now I don't really have time to play it because I'm stuck with school and I'm preparing for exams, so I don't really have time to do sports. But I usually practice it like twice a week, and it is actually a very good for health because it helps to improve physically, and a lot of people in my school actually enjoy it, and it benefits the school because.
What is the next question?
Schools should make sports compulsory for all students so that they can improve and
Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, let's now go to part 3. Why do some students lose motivation for sports as they grow older?
maybe because of the competition and maybe because of their teachers that teach sports.
Okay. Should academic achievements or physical achievements carry more value in Olympiads?
I think they should be equal because some people are better academically and some people are better physically. So yes, they should be.
How can schools balance competition, health, and inclusivity in sports policies? How can schools balance competition, health, and sports policies? In competitions, how often there are injuries? Did you witness?
Not me, but my friends. They had a lot of injuries, but I personally didn't have any.
You're lucky, right? Fantastic. All right, that's the end of the examination. Thank you. Conversation, yes. You did not know. Yeah. Conversation. Yes. That's achievement. Examination. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your full name, Mr.
I'm Mochaliva Karina.
Karina? Okay. There are 3 parts. Okay. Let's go. Part 1. What types of technology do you most commonly use for learning?
For learning.
to use my laptop because it's very convenient to use and I can carry it around. But the more easier one for me at least is my phone because I can access it at any time of the day and I have internet there like the whole time as well. So
Do students in your region rely on more smartphones or computers for e-learning?
for kids,
Do students in your region rely on smartphones or computers for e-learning?
from my region, I think students rely on their phones because not many can afford laptops and computers. And the phone has just more information you can access. So,
So, have teachers in your school encourage digital learning?
teachers in our school, they don't like it when we use it. They're not very encouraging about that. But sometimes when the test or the kind of exam needs it and has it written in the exercise and we can access it.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Right, now it is time for part 2. Yeah, you have to speak on your own. Okay?
Иә, неше оқушы? Мынау 12-де ғана. Асты неше оқушы? 25. Неше мынау 9 сынып па? 11 сынып 25 стратегия.
It's fine. The technology that changed the way I use English and learn it was probably AI, the invention of it. Of course, many think that it helped them a lot, and I'm not an exclusion. So I use it not so often actually. I use it once or twice a week when I need it.
Twice a day.
But actually, I'm being treated here. So I used to utilize it a lot when I was preparing for IELTS and SAT because I needed a lot of exercises close to the ones I didn't understand. It really helps with that, even if it's not very, how do I say this? It's not very truthful sometimes. You can have a lot of mistakes, but usually when you look at it more globally, it's pretty convenient. I don't think that that this technology, AI, can actually replace teachers, because I'm the type of person that needs an alive human being standing in front of me and explaining things, speaking and helping me understand. Sometimes they just explain things better than AI, and yeah. So I can say that AI is pretty useful, but again, you have to be mindful when using it, because again, it has mistakes and you have to analyze things by yourself a lot of the times.
Yeah, that's true. Now it's time to start the discussion. What makes technology helpful for language learning when it doesn't become a distraction?
I don't think it's that quite of a distraction, because we use technology a lot in our lives, every day and every hour, so it's not that much of a distraction. It's quite useful because it gives access to a wide range of information and a lot of libraries.
Yeah. How often do you use internet and phone for the studies, apart from your entertainment?
Apart from my entertainment, actually I'm on vacation right now, so I don't use it a lot. But when it comes to studying at school, I use it every day. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Can digital learning increase educational inequality?
Can you repeat that?
Can digital learning increase educational inequality? You know something about it?
Yeah, digital learning and inequality, I think they're quite intertwined, but yes. Give me a second.
Education inequality when somebody does it better than someone, yeah. And people
But I
even as
think-
a teacher, it's a bit helpful. But digital education, somebody may go too far. Okay.
Okay.
How should regional Olympiads integrate technology without reducing spontaneity in speaking tasks?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
Two lines. How should regional Olympiads integrate technology without decreasing spontaneity in speaking tasks?
Spontaneity. Well, technology doesn't really affect that, I think.
Just answer that question. How can regional Olympiads integrate technology?
Integrate technology.
Can we? Apart from the videos?
I don't think that's very possible, because people are spontaneous by nature.
Yeah, they are. They are. Okay, that was very good. That was really good. Okay, that is the end of the examination.
Okay.
This is speaking examination. Really? Yes. Okay, tell us your full name and surname.
My name is David Reasons.
Okay. Let's start. You mind?
No,
What environmental issues do students talk about most in English?
can you repeat please?
Environmental issues students talk most in English.
town, there's not much environment places where teenagers like me can meet together. So we don't have really much to talk about. So yeah.
Okay. Do you understand what environmental issues mean? Environmental issues.
Issues.
Issues.
Issues.
Problems.
Okay, I get it. So no problem. Okay.
Do schools in Kazakhstan do encourage to promote eco-awareness?
I think and I believe that they do not. I think it's not enough.
That is true. That is true. So, what's your opinion about environmental issues?
I think that that authorities should focus more on environmental issues like plastic pollution and climate change, and I think they should like create an movement for children in schools for eco-friendly thoughts.
Okay. All right. Now is time for part 2. Okay. You can speak on your own. This part environment.
How much should I speak for 2 minutes? So, as I said before, I'm from a little town called Isai, and you may know it thanks to the field called Herchina. It's a consortium of companies, international companies like Chevron and Eni and AC. So these companies are based on petroleum production and petroleum and gas production, and their work is polluting the air and affects the community, the local community, the citizens of the site. Not only with leftovers, but also on economical level, because cities' economy is all based on this field and in this company. So the prices are high, but the salary for difficult people, for average men, is pretty low.
All right.
So I think we should like create more opportunities for average men and women in the city, create workplaces, and also regulate the company's production.
Okay. Now it's time for discussion. Why do environmental campaigns succeed in some schools but fail in others?
That's a quite hard question.
It is.
I think that's all about money and inventions. In some cities, companies see more opportunities and more like prestige in investing into schools than investing that into schools in small towns, which really makes me sad.
Who should carry more responsibility for regional ecology? Schools, families, or local government?
I think it's complicated, and all parts of the community should participate in ecological friendly movement. Like the citizens and local authorities movement.
How can student politics raise awareness of environmental English vocabulary while assessing real communication skills?
With
Do
developing,
you understand the question? It's a long one.
it's about like preparation
Yeah.
for exams. So with development of technologies like artificial intelligence, students have a lot of opportunities to study even in their home. And okay,
That is the end of the examination.
thank you. Bye.
See you. That is speaking examination. Very good. Okay, good. Tell us your full name and surname.
My full name is Ayman.
And what?
Ayman.
Ivan. Okay. Okay, let's start. How often do students in your region read books in English?
Honestly, I prefer watching films than reading books. So I don't read.
That's about you. What about students? How often students in your region read books? They do it often?
In my society environment, students doesn't read books. It's actually sadly, but also I meet students who reads English and American books.
Okay. Now, again, do you prefer printed books or electronic books?
I actually prefer reading paper books because I have problems with my eyes. So
Okay. Is English literature part of your school's advanced learning progress?
my English teacher is my motivator, and she really helped me advance my English, and I truly agree with this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now it is time for part 2. Okay. You have to speak on your own. these are the questions. You have half a minute to prepare. Okay, so
As I said before, I don't read any books, but meanwhile I read Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a book about friends who are fighting with their enemies. So it was hard for me because in that book. In that book were problems with vocabulary. It was challenge difficult for me. I learned that friendship is important for people, and people should appreciate their friends, be together, and support another
each other.
each other. So yes, I think reading fiction helps improve our communication skills. With reading books, we can improve our vocabulary. Also, we can correctly connect our sentences and significantly improve our speech. Conclusion. I think, how I said before, I think book is really helps for us because books is includes many words which we can don't know, and we can expand our vocabulary, expand our view to the world. So
Okay. Now let's talk about reading. Discussion. Why do some readers find foreign literature difficult, even when the grammar is not complex? Even when the grammar is easy? Why do some readers find foreign literature difficult, even when the grammar is easy?
honestly, I'm wrong because I find literature of books difficult because of there are so many words with difficult meaning, and we have to translate or look for their meanings.
Okay. Translated or adapted literature affects students' ability to think critically.
I think yes, because was translating and can you repeat please?
Does translated or adapted literature affect students' ability to think critically?
Maybe yes, because lecturers is have their history and so many old wars.
Okay. Have you ever read bad translated literature?
Yes, I remember that I read a book, but I don't remember the name. But there are many words with difficult words, and I got that they translated.
Bad, yeah. Okay. That is the English speaking English. Okay.
Мында келсеңші жүйелеріңіз барлығы. Сіздер сәлеметсіздер. Сіз қалай қабылдап жатырсыздар? Бір бірден ғой. Сіз бірінші аңшылық өткізгенде бірінші жыл емес, жюриде. Қазір ағылшында бір үшеуде жұмыс істеп жатыр. Үшеуде үштен алыңыздар. Неге сіздер өздеріңізді қалтасып алмадыңыз? Қазір бала шығып, сосын айтады маған, менен былай қабылдады, маған былай істеді. Басқа кабинетте сразу обычно солай істейтіндер ғой. Почему өздеріңіз ақылдасып кәдімгі қалған әріптестер шақырып жатыр? Конечно, ақылдасып алайық, қалай өтемізді. Бәрімізден бір сөзден шығу керек. Жарай ма? Сіз қалай қабылдап жатырсыз? Бір-бірден соны басынан неге шешіп алмадыңыз деп сіз бір пән ғой, бір пән тек үш басқа бөлініп. Соны қалай қабылдайсыздар? Үш кабинетте алғасын, үш оқушы шығар, үш түрлі әңгіме айтады қазір. Мына жақта біздер, бір бірден мен жақта біздер, оны бір-бірімізді тыңдадық,
бір-бірден негізі нереально бір-бірден. Он вариант берілген. Жақсы, он вариант берілген, он вариант бала бір-бірден қайталамайды деп уақытты үнемдеу үшін. Енді ана балаға 8 минут деп уақыт беріп, 5 минуттан тыңдап, 10 минутқа сүйу үшін қалған дәрежелерді енді кішкене соңғысында әлемді. Емтихан кезінде солай оқып емтихан. Варианттар бөлек.
Негізі қалай істейсіздер?
8 минуттай былтырдан 10 минут.
Былтырғы төлеп, 10 бала қатысқан жоқ.
5-5-тен кірген сияқты.
Былтыр 10 бала болған жоқ.
5-5-тен кірген сияқты. 5-5-тен кірген
сияқты.
Жоқ, солай деп жаңа бастап алдық қой, енді сөйлеп болды.
Я одан который прослушали, қазір қайтап
таңдаусыз. А вообще дайындалсыз жүру бар. Вообще дайындалмау керек негізі. Без студентов, без окушек, мне кажется, нормально, по 5. Но 10, наверное, немножко, да? Давайте поделим. Дайындалсыз тек жіберіңіз. 8 минутқа дейін білмеймін, вопрос Вопросы легкие, вопросы легкие. Бесеуден біргелі болады сияқты, пока дайындалып, оларды бойларын жинақтап, пока собираться. aylarda biz niye? Kilitli dayılasında.
Dayılasında,
Dersi olana dayılasında.
8 минутта болса.
Yok, söylüyor arasında bu söylüyor hiç kimlik var.
Жеті.
Жеті он.
Хорошо. Но 7 минуттан асып шығып кетпесін.
Бір-біріне өткіземіз бе?
10 минуттан тоже ұзастамау.
Ну, үш бар, әлі үш час.
Одан сонда келісім.
Бір-бірден, да?
Одан
Дайынсыз на месте.
Да, да, все.
Тогда пускаем обратно их, да?
Да,
Получается.
обратно.
Снова не заданиями.
Да, уже другой банан.
Давайте.
Кто уже включил, что ли?
Нет, просто если на него, если даже как сказать, уже
Получается, без подготовки ничего не получается, да?
сразу читали правые, да,
Sonra bizi böyle sırası basılacak, bizleri sırası böyle şartlarına otur, şeklinde tutar. Хорошо. Получается, было.
После половины телефон таймер. Телефон после половины, была таймер какой-то. Снова лучший таймер.
Alright, that's the information. Are you ready? Okay. First of all, tell us your full name and surname. What's your name? Okay. Let's start. Teacher profession. Part one. Have you already chosen future profession, or are you still exploring options?
Actually, right now I don't know exactly what I want to do in the future, but I started and I think that the profession of teacher is more convenient for me.
Okay. The schools in your region provide career guidance.
To be honest, no. My school is not so modernized, so career choosing it's not popular.
What professions are considered most attractive among teenagers?
Maybe translator, in my opinion, and diplomacy, because it's very future professions. It will never be old profession in the future. Most of the things.
Are you sure about translator being old in the future when we have translating applications?
In my opinion, translator profession will be all in all years convenient because AI or some programs can't transcribe your action or maybe your inner thoughts when you're talking.
Okay, now it's time for part two. You will have to speak on your own, okay? How long does it take here?
How long?
Well, ready?
The profession that I actually want to be in my when I will be adult, it's translator and teaching profession because my mother mother and my grandmother, it's in my both sides from my father and my mother sides are already teachers, and maybe it's more like related to me, and I feel more comfortable like to be teacher and teaching somebody's children. And about profession translator. Translator, it's like a saving with me, for me, with like a self-confident person, and I want to be that confident in my future because nowadays I'm just like developing myself, and in the future I would like to be more better version of me, myself. And these skills like requires English, as we all know. English is very English is like a bridge between other cultures and other countries. When you travel abroad, you already knew that English is very important and has a role in like your social development. And English also requires good communication skills because if you are like, not open-minded person, it will be hard for you to open yourself to others, and you can share your mind properly. I think that my future professions will never get old in the future because teachers need to develop children's minds, and help them develop as a person. And AI and other technologies will never like be good enough for that task.
Okay. Good. All right, now let's move to part 3. Discussion. Why do employers value English for some professions more than others?
English, as I said earlier, English requires social skills, and if you want active like work life and academic life, you should know it to gather information from others and be good enough to communicate. Thank you.
Is English more important than other global skills like coding?
Coding, in my opinion, is more like programming things, and English is like when communication. Yes. And can you
Is English more important than other global skills like coding?
I said about coding earlier, so maybe not because English is very important, but not like the main thing to know. And you also have other things that you should like work on it.
Yeah. All right. That is the end of the
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I was
Thank
good.
you. Huh?
It was good.
All right.
Thank you. Goodbye. So.
Детей просят создать фотографии, он просто нам и ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, social media. Which social media platforms are most popular among students? What's your name, by the way?
Actually,
Okay, are you ready for social media questions?
yes.
Which social media platforms are most popular among students?
In my opinion, it's TikTok and probably Instagram.
Okay. Do you use social media to practice English?
Like,
Do you watch any English videos on TikTok?
yes, regularly.
Okay. Have you ever received incorrect language advice on social media?
Can you repeat?
Have you ever received wrong language advice on social media? All right. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes social media tells us bad advice. Yeah. Now, the final part two. You'll have to speak on your own. Okay? Yeah, half a minute.
Do I have time?
Half a minute to prepare. Then 2 minutes to speak. Why do you think? Will they let us go when we finish? I think so.
So I think we have to wait out.
I think we have to fill it out something in here. No, I don't think so. All the questions are filled. Should be able to answer. If you I can answer.
It's innocent.
You should make an average. Nothing more first or second.
In my opinion, most of the negative, most of the disadvantages of social media is misinformation.
Okay. Have you ever watched bad videos on TikTok?
Yes, I have watched a lot of bad videos.
Would you let your small brother to watch bad videos?
Can you repeat?
Would you let your small brother or sister watch bad videos?
I wouldn't.
Why?
because it can lead them to learn bad things.
Yeah. They can become bad people today. All right, part 3. Why do teenagers sometimes imitate online language even when it sounds unnatural?
I guess it's because they want to improve their language skills.
Yeah, mostly with TikTok videos, there are some students people with bad English, but they still speak. Do they have?
Yeah. But
Should, how can students verify correctness of English expressions they learn online?
maybe ask professors
Mm.
from their schools and advice.
Do you check the information you see online?
Yes, I do. Mostly with artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Okay. Do you learn something from English online?
Yeah, of course. I bought a course where I study and improve my English skills.
All right. Okay. That is the English language. Thank you. Now, if they there are a few things that are good for students. Okay, one there. Fluency one, easy.
Your name, yes.
Now let's begin this test. Now the first question. How do you usually prepare for competitions at school?
Being really honest, I'm not a competitive person. However, when it comes to serious competitions, I usually try to practice some tasks and questions with my acquaintances and my teachers, even professors from universities if I find their numbers or something else. I think if I practice enough, then I will succeed in the end.
Now, are competitions stressful or motivating for most students in your region?
In my region, many people, majority of people are low ambitions, and I think that if they won't succeed in the competition, then it will probably just decrease their motivations. However, some people also feel some kind of motivation if they succeed in the end. So I think that it just depends on the person itself.
What kind of rewards encourage students most?
In my opinion, just some small rewards, such as maybe money or just I don't know, maybe grants from universities, or just even small thank you can be also a good sign.
Okay. Now let's learn part 2. But let's speak on normal. Yeah. Is there any questions for Eric or comment?
Well, the most memorable competition in my life was probably Republic Olympiad among rural areas in our country. I met, it was in Astana, and I met there a lot of people, a lot of high ambitious people who had great goals and dreams. And while I was there, I acknowledged that I'm on the same level with them, and they can also achieve the same goals as them. So I started to socialize more with them, and thus I just improved my communication skills with them. Also, when I in the end of the competition, I went third place and also increased my confidence in myself. Since then, I understand that I have great potential and I should just keep up. The most complex thing was just competition among other rural areas, which are located and situated in northern areas of our country, because they have more schools that are also were focused on English language. That's why I was stressed about that, and honestly didn't even was confident myself. Confident.
Okay.
In my opinion, competition can be a great motivator than grades, because grades just focus on person's skills itself, but competition also compares you with others. And when you just achieve something or succeed in the end, then it will just I don't know, enhance your confidence and motivation in the end.
The next discussion. Why do some students give up even before a competition begins?
One of the things I think is just lack of confidence in themselves, because they think that if they don't even start, then they won't feel how to say it's embarrassed or exhausted in the end.
Should communication skills or knowledge skills dominate language learning?
Can you please repeat?
Should communication skills or knowledge skills dominate in language learning?
Well, I haven't really
Or knowledge skills?
I think knowledge skills can be really helpful in such competitions, because juries also assess their depth of knowledge, and also when it comes to language competitions, it is crucial to give more open and deep answers.
How does competition culture differ across schools in Central Asia compared to other regions? Can you compare? Have you maybe learned about different competitions in some situations?
Can you please repeat?
How does competition culture differ across schools in Central Asia?
I haven't thought about it.
What's your opinion about competition culture?
In my opinion, competitions can differ from regions in terms of juries and students itself. For example, in northern areas of our country, juries can be more strict, in my opinion, compared to other regions.
And also students are also intelligent, more intelligent, and have more potential, just from my point of view.
Very nice. Thank you. Now,
That is the English speaking examination.
thank you. Now, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Hudaybiya Mahabat.
Sorry?
Hudaybiya Mahabat. I'm H-A-W-B-A-T. I study at the Sophia Secondary School and I'm 16 years old.
Okay. Music and language learning. Are you ready? Do students in your region listen most to local or global music?
Can you repeat please?
Do students in your region listen mostly to local or global music?
Well, I think that most teenagers listen to global music. For example, there are a lot of genres of music. For example, I think the most popular ones are pop, hip hop, or even rap. But there are some people who also listen to local music too. We also have very popular bands. For example, 91, they are also a pop band group. Q-pop, and also, well, I think it depends on the person's interests.
How often do you hear English in the music teenagers prefer?
I hear English music every day in everyday life, especially on social media. There are a lot of English music that are really popular among teenagers, and many of them make videos themselves by using those music, and also there are many teenagers who rap themselves and they also rap in English too.
Can your teacher use songs in English lessons effectively?
Yes, sure. When I was still little, I went to English courses and there my tutor, I think every day, yes, in every lesson, used English songs to help us to learn Latin because I think it's a really easy way to learn a new language.
All right, now it is time for part two. You'll have to speak on your own, okay? Maybe you give some questions. Half a minute.
As I've already said, in my view, listening to English songs can really help students to learn this language. And I listen to English songs too in everyday life. especially in social media, there are many videos that uses English language, and I have a favorite song in English. It's called Impossible by Sia. She is an artist from England, and that song really motivates me. First, when I heard this song, it was a few years ago, when I was really insecure about myself and I was not very confident. And I heard about the song on TikTok platform, and after that, I started listening to this music every day in the mornings, and that song really helped me to be confident. And nowadays, I also listen to this music too. And in my opinion, English language songs can really help to people's listening skills, but I'm not sure that they always use accurate vocabulary or pronunciation in their songs. They usually use slang words, but it definitely helps with listening skills. And in conclusion, I would say that definitely music can help students to learn many languages, including English.
Yeah, good. All right, now it's time for part 3, discussion. Why I found it easier to remember than other learning material?
Because we listen to songs every day, and in my opinion, when people listen to something very often, it's really easy to remember it.
Does some language represent real spoken English?
Well, as I've already said, many people use slang words, and many American people have inaccurate vocabulary in their songs, so it actually depends on the music type and the artist.
Should Olympiads include music-based tasks?
Maybe, I'm not sure. As I've already said, it depends on the music, and if that music is, for example, motivational or has really good vocabulary, definitely yes. But if there are enough inappropriate words, I don't think that they should use it.
Okay. That is a speaking examination.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi, how are you? Nice you.
First of all, tell us your full name and surname. Okay, speaking examination. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Tourism. Have you ever spoken English to foreign tourists?
Yeah. For instance, last summer we have traveled abroad. Like first of all, we traveled for Hamburg, it's a nearby city for Kazakhstan, and I see there two races, and they have spoken in English. And also last year, to the city have Africa
So, yeah, service.
Are international visitors frequent in your city?
I think no, because Oras is not so big city, like it's not megapolis like Roma or Shenzhen or Asana.
Do students receive enough cultural brief before interacting with tourists in English?
Can you repeat the
Do
question?
students receive enough cultural brief explanation? Do students receive enough cultural briefing before interacting with tourists in English?
I think it depends on the situation. Sometimes it's yes, sometimes no.
How many times have you met in foreign tourists?
In our city, I have one roommate from them, with once, and tourists went Africa circus was come to the whole city.
Okay, now it is not hard to hear questions in how minutes to prepare. Then you have to speak on it.
I just read about English linguistic facts, which are all relevant. First of all, I recommend to international tourists Almaty city because it's a center of young peoples. There are many places where you can go, where you can travel, and also there are mountains you can climb, you can ride skateboard, and if you are a non-Kazakh speaker, you should know that there are many types of Kazakh language. Like we know that in every country we have in every place their linguistic factors, and in many places one word can be different. English speaking was helpful limits cultural immersion. I think it can be limit our English studying. Nowadays we have a lot of translator apps, and it's not just what translates in now time, but if you can speak without these apps, these digitals, you can speak absolutely. We need to study, we need to prepare for exam.
Okay. Okay, not bad. All right, now this is the part 3 discussion. Why do some tourist sites become global while others remain local?
Can you repeat?
Why some tourist sites become very popular while the others are not so popular?
Tourists.
Tourist sites, places for tourists to relax.
There are many factors. First, it's management, and also it depends on people. Like some people can like more relaxing places, and some more funny, I think. And most in many situations, people like more funnier places than relaxing.
Communication encourages simplified English or culturally rich English.
Can you repeat?
You know, tourism communication, yeah?
Yeah.
When you were out in a different country, yeah?
Yeah.
It should be the language is simple English or culturally rich English. Which one is more important for you?
If you are in a country where you speak mostly English and it's a simple English, if you don't speak fluently in their language, you can use a simple phrases like in cafe, in restaurants. But if you are in USA or in Great Britain, English is their cultural factor, and I think that every people should be full this culture.
Okay. Okay, schools prepare students to be tourists.
How?
That's not one. How can schools prepare students to be tourists?
In our books, we have interesting places in other countries, in our country, and if you see this, if you read this information, take pictures of these places, and when you each copy,
Okay, so,
you can travel to these places.
okay. That is the English examination.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, tell us your full name and surname.
Application
Ali. Okay. This is speaking that are ready. Good. Okay, today we're talking about artificial intelligence. Do you use AI tools for learning English?
do I use?
Yeah.
Well, being frank, I do usually sometimes. Sometimes I use it just for making good results on exams. I guess this is not a tool that I'm going to use in the future.
Okay. Are AI applications popular among students?
Yeah, it is viral. Everybody, for example, in my school, using it for their own pleasure or for getting, I don't know, probably and good results in their resumes.
What are teenagers' main expectations from AI language learning?
My expectations, they may think that they are going to get everything with AI. But AI is only the tool that can make the mind of yours better. So you need to at first develop the mind of yours to use it.
Straight and short. Now, it's time for part 2. You'll have to speak on your own. We're going to provide you with questions. You have half a minute to prepare. That's actually, that's correct. What is absent? 14 more to go.
Well, to begin with, as I said, AI is a kind of a tool to assist us with gaining information in English or somewhere else. So I'm going to provide some examples of learning English with AI. For example, with ChatGPT. So probably like AI can always support you with learning English with some different ways. Of providing some grammar or sentences or even some words that you don't know, that you may not know. So that is why you always need to check the information you've got in your essays or even any sentence with AI. So it's always gonna find anything from the result of yours, and it's going to correct you with better explanation of it, and even more, you can get feedback from it. So it has colossal effects on the life of ours, especially students, owing to the fact that it gives, really provides some opportunities to the advancement of the English speaking of yours. So that is why some students can balance AI with independent speaking by learning words, some linking words, for example, with the AI. So what about the personal opinion of mine? To be frank, I'm usually that kind of person who is being natural. So that is why I'm going to say natural too here, and I will say that AI is a tool, as I said, that can provide you anything, but if you use it on the profitable way, where you can always make changes in the mind of yours with AI, it will be easier for a learner to you. But usually it depends on the person. So in the conclusion of mine, I guess AI is it's a great opportunity to develop any kind of language in the existing world.
Nice. Now the second part of the discussion. Why might AI reduce originality in students' communication?
Originals. Throughout the past decade, we tend to get information online. So that is why we less confirm information with other people, less communicate with self-sufficient. That is why communication is becoming harder and harder for people nowadays, especially for the young generation who is leaning on everything, especially on AI. They don't use their minds of yours, not of yours, of theirs.
Yeah, okay. Should delegates, should delegates control access to AI in preparation for speaking classes?
The humble opinion of mine, any control is really needed, especially for AI and for some teachers, because it will be not fair for us students not to use AI.
How can students develop critical thinking if most of the answers are generated by AI?
Critical thinking is usually connected to the psychology and some things. I may better say that I'm not a professional in this kind of sphere, but critical thinking is always maybe developed by other teachers, and AI is not a teacher. Intelligence, artificial, it may develop itself, but not in an ideal way. So that is why you always need to have the conversation with other person, not just AI.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, that is the end of the key management.
Goodbye.
Good morning.
Morning. First of all, tell us your full name and surname.
Ramilia Giddy.
What is your name?
Ramilia.
Okay, let's begin animation. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sports and health.
Mm-hmm.
Do you enjoy sports or physical activities at school?
Exactly at school.
Do you enjoy sports or physical activities?
Yes, I do. Especially I love running, and sometimes when there are events about running marathons, for example, I try to participate.
How often do students in your school have physical education classes?
As I know, 11th grade students have PE classes 3 times a week.
Is it easy for teenagers in your region to access sport facilities?
I guess so, because nowadays teenagers are more likely to do sports. For example, I know a lot of people from school or my friends that are going to the gym or taking any extra courses.
Good. That's good. Okay. Now it's time for part 2. You'll have to speak on your own. These are questions. How to prepare.
Okay. Since my childhood, I've been dancing a lot. I tried so many different styles in dance. So even now, I continue dancing, and I participate dance classes 3 times a week. But those are extra courses, so those are not from school. I guess the benefits it brings to health is because I can keep my muscles strong because, as you know, in dances you gotta keep your body moving and train a lot to achieve your goals and fast moving performances. And that is also brings some benefits for school because whenever there is events or anything like that, I can take part in it and show my dance, I guess. In my opinion, the schools should make sports compulsory for all students because it is really necessary to keep new generations healthy and strong, but also it's new trend to be healthy and sports. So that would be great. And in conclusion, I would say that sport is significant for all the times because it's just the thing that you can do anytime, in any place, wherever you want. Even do splits, you can do it just by yourself at home or wherever you are.
Good. All right. That is part 2 now, part 3. Discussion. Why do some students lose motivation for sports as they grow older?
Oh, that's a question I gotta think of, but I suppose it's because when you get older, you gotta deal with some adult stuff like home, job, and family, some any challenges in grown up lives. So they just usually don't have as much time as they want for sports. Or like my mom says, oh, I'm too old for sports, like what do I do? And I'm telling her, no, like it's kind of thing anyone can do it at any age. So just people that keep this energy, this motivation.
Good. Should academic achievements or physical achievements carry more value in Olympiads?
In Olympiads like this.
What, this one? Yeah. You can talk about this one.
I believe that yes. Due to its genetic stuff, like some people are better in academic and brainstorm things, and some people are just better in sports. They were born and meant to do some sports.
Okay, not bad at all. How can schools balance competition health in sport facilities?
Sorry, can you come again, please?
How can schools balance competition and health in sports policies?
Mm.
You know, when there's a rough competition, high risk of damages, yeah?
Oh yes, that's for sure. First of all, I guess all schools have this when they're having any competitions or whenever they have a person that knows the skills of the first aid. And also they can make students wear protection for the situations where, for example, they fell or damaged, they can be protected by any supplies.
Yeah, that's good. All right, that was nice. That is the end of the examination.
Okay, thank you. Good night. Have a good day.
First of all, tell us your full name and surname. Again? Okay, this is speaking examination. Are you ready? Okay. Technology and education. What types of technologies do you most commonly use for learning?
Learning, I use my laptop and my phone. I use it every day because I have some courses and apps which I use to
Do students in your region rely more on smartphones or computers for English practice?
for English practice. I guess that it's everyone's choice, but I usually use my phone because I just don't have an opportunity to take my laptop or my computer every day, for example, at school or on the road, and that's why I use my phone.
Okay. Have teachers in your school encourage digital learning?
I have some teachers in my school that encourage digital learning. They just tell us about opportunities that we will have in the future. And sometimes they tell us that people who know who have these skills, they have big salary.
Nice argument, isn't it? Okay, now it's time for part two. It's your time to speak when you're ready. Your questions? You have half a minute.
Technology that I use every day in my life is laptop. I use it at home. There are many advantages like usefulness. You have many apps and programs there that you, for example, can't use on phone because they just don't work. I use it every evening I open some programs and watch my lessons and just do my homework with it. But it has some limitations, like you can't take it to school or on the road because it's really hard, especially in our bus. Technology, I guess technology can't really replace teachers because, for example, I really need a real life teacher who can tell me some lessons, who can show me my mistakes. And I believe that artificial intelligence, for example, can't really help me with it.
Okay. Now let's enter part 3 discussion. What makes technology helpful for language learning?
Could you?
What makes technology helpful for language learning?
Technologies can help these courses because when you can't go somewhere to attend some courses, you have an opportunity to sit at home and to learn languages.
Can digital learning increase educational inequality?
Yeah, it really develops our skills, our knowledge about languages. We have big opportunities to learn about it, even by ourselves, sitting at home.
Okay. About education inequality, some students work harder, some students don't work hard yet, and teacher usually makes it balanced, tries at least. But with the help of internet and technology, it has lost its balance. What do you think about it?
Yeah, even today, all students work differently. Some try harder, while others just do smaller than others. I guess technology can't help it. They just see your progress and help you to study.
Okay. That is the end of the examination.
Environmental issues. What information environmental issues do students talk about most often in religion? What environmental issues do students talk about most often in religion?
I think we mostly talk about something mostly related to littering and garbage, just in our region. Since Heroes is usually called like the green city, then personally for me, I think in my environment, my peers usually talk about the littering around the city, like the way it's all the garbage is just lying around in waters, just grass. Like, you can't call something green if it's full of litter.
Do schools in Kazakhstan do enough to promote eco-awareness?
I don't think they do, since I think there are a lot of more opportunities to actually provide more knowledge and understanding about this situation that we have, especially Kazakhstan, since like countries like Singapore and Japan are usually really have been aware of this problem. While Kazakhstan's youth is really kind of damaged by the situation, though the government doesn't talk about it enough. And in schools, I think they could provide us with more subjects or lessons, or at least something related to that in our free time, for volunteering maybe, or something related to that.
Have you participated in any environmental projects at school?
I have participated, but it wasn't a school project, it was more like my classmates' project that I participated with. I was a co-leader of a project called Animal. We were volunteering all around Europe. We were just taking in students who really wanted to help our environment around the city to kind of provide more protection and stop littering and just have it show a big message to citizens.
Okay, now the sample volunteer. You will let this be on your own. If there are questions, you have half a minute to prepare.
So it's kind of an environmental problem in your region with most possible solutions. So I think, as I already said, the biggest problem is probably littering and just overall the amount of garbage in our city that I am really troubled with. It's caused by just people littering around and thinking it's more of an individual problem, since everybody thinks like if everybody's littering then I can do so, and it kind of will accumulate into one single problem. Like it's let's say a snowball effect, the way it rolls around and just gains all the momentum and size. So to stop it, it kind of affects our community in a weird way, I'd say. At the same time, it can also like hinder the way we actually think about it, like our awareness of the problem. But at the same time, it can also encourage young people or just overall citizens to provide help for our city and start acting instead of just looking at it and complaining about the problem. My solution, let's say, is bringing more awareness to it, like taking aim at it and just through bans maybe or social projects or anything related to that. So like the city should, the government should actually increase our awareness of it and just I think it would propel our awareness of the fact that our city is being littered every day without anybody noticing. I mean, personally, I already started, my eyes already kind of get used to the image or just pictures of litter. So whenever I walk around and look at the grass, even if there is litter, my eyes automatically just skip it. Like I don't see it unless I really focus onto it, which I think is a big problem, and I am completely against it. So I think the governments and people, just overall, our social state is kind of messed up, and I really think that we need to kind of unite and stand against this big problem. I mean, it can just become enormous if we don't take action right now. Or we can't just postpone it to a later date, because not only we have to think about it now, we also have to think about future generations that will basically grow or develop around the country.
Let's analyze let's do some discussions here. Why do environmental campaigns succeed in some schools but fail in others?
I think it's because of the message and people around school. I mean, like more developed schools, lyceums, people usually the teachers and overall just the management of those schools take more action and show, as I said, increase awareness about the fact. So they kind of show the bad sides, negative sides. While the regular schools, I don't think there's much advertisement of being environmentally aware and just helping your environment around you. That's why I think it kind of works in some and it doesn't work at all in others.
Who should carry more responsibility for regional ecology? Schools, families, or government?
I think it's more about the government, since the government basically does everything. So even if schools or families start to take action, there's only will be like one or two of them. I don't think there will be a sufficient amount of families or schools that will be enough to provide the needs of help. Like, I don't think it will be of assistance at all.
Who can students raise awareness of environmental English vocabulary while assessing reading communications? How can students raise awareness of environmental English vocabulary while assessing reading communications? Now, can we use now this environmental English vocabulary?
I think we should implement it through just basic lessons of English. But I don't think it's a problem of the English itself. I think it's just our mindset that we don't think about it. I mean, even lessons about other languages, even biology doesn't talk about it that much. Though English, I think it's all about the words, the communication, and biology is more responsible, maybe, for it. So,
All right, that is the end of the examination. First of all, tell us your name.
My name is Ағылшын.
This is speaking examination. Are you ready?
Yes.
Literature. How often do students in your region read books in English?
In my region, students usually read books. As I see my classmates often read it at school when we have some break in between lunches.
Do you prefer printed books or electronic books?
From my perspective, there's no big difference between them, but if we are talking about my choice, I would like to read with printed ones because with printed I see my progress like with pages, and it is really like fantastic when you end the book and you can put it in your shelf.
Right, I did, yeah. Is English literature part of your school's advanced learning programs?
Could you repeat this?
Is English literature part of your school's advanced learning program?
Yes, of course. In my school, we learn most of our subjects in English. For example, physics, biology, mathematics, etc. And also we got a lot of English lessons. For example, we sometimes read in English on our lessons and sometimes do something else. We every day have not only theory but also practice. That's good.
Okay. Now, it's part 2. You'll have to speak on your own. If there are any questions, you have half a minute to prepare.
Ready?
Yeah, go.
There are plenty books that I have read in my life, but the one that changed my thinking is the book called The Story or The Adventure of the Billy Milligan. It was about a kind boy who was traumatized by his parents in his childhood, and due to that he had like several phases for everyone. He sometimes can be extremely angry, like he's not human. He sometimes can be scared of everything. Nothing was similar to his faces. What I learned about it is that in every situation we need to be us. We don't need to be someone. Of course, we get inspired from someone, or sometimes some situations really can challenge you hard, but it's not the point to change you. You need to be you, and if people will see you from that face, what other days they can see you from other face, and they can every time change their opinion about you. And other things that good to live like that, like you are not the one you born. That's it.
Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now we're set for part 3 discussion. Why do some readers find foreign literature difficult, even when the grammar is easy?
English is not as easy as we can think, but for other people it can be difficult as in their language grammar can be quite different from it, and they always need to read it in other places. For example, we start from noun and then verb. Sometimes in other languages like Chinese, they say verb and then other thing and then only noun. It's only one point but for others, I think it's mostly about vocabulary also. For example, I can sometimes don't know the words, but from content I can understand it. But not everyone can do it, I think.
Okay. Does translated or adapted literature affect students' ability to think critically? Does translated literature affect students' ability to think critically?
Translated.
You know, critical thinking? Thinking outside the
Of
box.
course, I know. I think no. Every literature could be translated in every language, and translating it don't changes the context. It will be the same. And critical thinking, it is about thinking out of the box, you know. And in every language, we can sometimes think out of the box. We can, from our words, understand others. Like Kazakh is similar to Turkish, and also, that's it.
Okay. Should Olympiads, you're saying, should Olympiads include literature discussion?
Literature discussion. From my point of view, I don't think that it is the thing that we need to talk about. It is in Olympia, we need to find our level, our level, and in literature discussion, mostly it is about your thinking, about your own opinion, about your life, about your story in life. And sometimes it will not be the same as others, as judges, and everyone can have different discussions.
Okay. I'm glad. That is the end of the examination. Yeah. First, tell us your full name and Okay. This is the examination. Are you ready?
Yes.
Future profession. Have you already chosen a future profession, or are you still exploring options?
Actually, I haven't because lately I've been feeling really puzzled and my thoughts are very congested. So I'm still thinking about it, but I already have found the direction I want to go to. It's connected with biology and chemistry and doing like analysis or working in the laboratory.
So you want to be a lab worker.
Probably.
Okay. These schools in your region provide career guidance.
Pardon?
These schools in your region provide career guidance.
For sure, our schools are designed to separate classes into different directions, and everybody studies what they need to study and who they want to be in the future. So that's why I'm just basically choosing biology and chemistry.
Mm-hmm. What professions are considered most attractive among teenagers?
Probably they will be professions with high salaries, like pilots or working in getting and exploring resources from our grounds, or working in military because they provide the most highest paychecks.
Very interesting. Okay, now it is time for Mark to go back to speak on your own. If you have any questions, you have half a minute to prepare.
Maybe put it here. I've been figuring out to become a doctor as well, especially working as a doctor in abroad would get me to many opportunities and chances. So this becoming doctor, first of all, demands high responsibility, a lot of hard work and very strict discipline, because studying medicine is not easy and a very affordable thing at all. Yes, and since I want to observe and explore medicine abroad, English is very crucial, and English would enhance my communication skills, the way I absorb the information and put out my thoughts to my patients or my colleagues. And there are some problems with using English that during studying process you might witness some Latin vocabulary or dictionary. So using it with English, speaking it with English, and learning new words from Latin language would be a bit of a complicated thing. And if English proficiency is low, I would suggest to start learning it from an early age. The school time is the perfect time to think about the future and learn and get new skills and new abilities. So in my case, to become a doctor abroad, English is very vital, and that's to learn English and to become a doctor. Traits like determination, hard working, and discipline and self-education is important.
Okay. Now, part 3 discussion. Why do employers value English for some professions more than others?
I didn't get it.
Employers, bosses, why do some bosses value English for some professions more than others? If you're a doctor, There's another doctor. One of you knows English, the other doesn't.
That's probably because English is a universal language and used worldwide, no matter the country. And even though someone may not know your language, but they will know the English much better. And English words are very common and meant worldwide, and moreover, famous readers and writers come from England or other countries where English is mostly spoken. So they are known for their favorite, famous works written in English.
Yeah, good. Is English more important than other global skills like coding?
I don't think it's super important, but of course, having English communication skills would be advantage, but overall, you need other other skills like being able to behave yourself in front of the public, or being socially available, socially friendly, and be capable of getting on with everyone else. So English would be more like a benefit.
Okay. English, knowledge or speaking skills? Which one more important for you?
For sure, speaking skills would be better, since knowledge doesn't. If you are not able to put out your knowledge, you won't be able to use it at all. And communication could lead you to more roads rather than just knowing it. So you gotta use your everything you know as much as possible.
Okay. That is the interesting examination. You like that? Good. Good afternoon. First of all, tell us your name. Alright, this is an examination. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, social media. Which social media platforms are most popular among students in your school?
That's an interesting question. I haven't thought about it. However, I totally agree that social media such as WhatsApp, Instagram, and TikTok are the most popular social media among our students in our school.
Okay. Do you use social media to practice English?
Yes, of course. I usually use TikTok or Instagram in order to practice my English. I scroll through videos, some videos about learning English or learning maths and some other subjects in order to become better in them.
Okay. Have you ever received incorrect English advice on social media?
Well, I think I would say no, because I don't think that there is any mistakable advices.
that people can give you in order to gain your knowledge in some aspects of languages. So I would say no. I appreciate every advice that I get from social media.
Now it is time for part 2. You will have to speak on your own. If there are questions, half a minute to prepare.
Nowadays, the proliferation of social media has become increasingly widespread among students, among teenagers especially. And I'm going to talk about the positive and the negative impact of social media on teenagers' English communication. On the one hand, I believe that this promotion has really positive impact on teenagers, because every time they go through social media, through videos, they can learn something new and they communicate with other people. Because digital medias, as we know, every time they are becoming more and more popular, and that they can communicate with people from other cultures, from other countries, in order to be better at communication and therefore enhance their communication skills. On the other hand, I believe that there are some drawbacks. For example, social media cannot be really beneficial for them in order to believe in themselves. Therefore, they cannot really rely on themselves. They start to compare themselves with another ones, and I think that social media nowadays they have really unreal expectations, and therefore teenagers start pushing themselves to become the person they not really are. So I think that are the most important drawbacks that social media has on teenagers' English communication. What's more, I think that other social media users, they can be a bit of angry when someone is trying to speak their language. It really depends on the person and their tolerance toward others. However, I've met many people who are really not into speaking their own language. Therefore, you don't want to continue learning one or another way.
Okay. Now it's time for part 3 discussion. Why do teenagers sometimes imitate online language, even when it sounds unnatural?
Can you repeat?
Imitate, you know?
Imitate
Yeah.
online language.
Why do teenagers sometimes imitate online language, even when it sounds unnatural?
I think there are several reasons why teenagers imitate online online language. First of all, I think they want to sound more natural, even though it can be it cannot be beneficial towards them. However, I've met some people who want to prove others that they are better at some aspects in comparison with others. The second reason for this issue is maybe that they want to enhance their language abilities, even though it can lead to some problems, such as dissatisfaction from other people or misunderstanding from
them.
Okay. Okay. Question about the regional weekend you're sitting. Okay. Should the regional weekend ban or encourage social media vocabulary?
And that's a really interesting question. I think that social media language is mostly about slangs that teenagers use on a daily basis. I would say that I've always had a soft spot for saying these things, these words, and among my friends, I'm always the one who uses it maybe every time. However, when it comes to regional Olympiad or any Olympiad at all, I don't think that it's really necessary to use such words, as it doesn't show your ability to communicate clearly in the language that you are participating in. So using such words, such non-neutral words in such Olympiad is not a good idea. So I really do not agree with this statement.
Good. Now, how can students verify the correctness of English expressions they learn?
Well, I think that they can always communicate with others, and therefore they can enhance their language abilities, their language skills, and maybe somehow teach others these words, these skills that they have learned about. Also, I think that they can use these words, these language skills on a daily basis to become more fluent and then to become as a native speakers.
Not bad. All right. That is the end of speaking English. First of all, tell us your name. Your name? Last name. Okay, this is speaking English. Are you ready? Competition and personal growth. How do you usually prefer competitions at school?
So like the type of competitions I prefer?
How do you prepare for competitions?
Sorry, prepare. It's one question that I do prepare, I guess. I always rely on my common sense because I'm like in English Olympiad since the 7th grade. So there is actually, in some time you prepare, you study with a teacher, and then you reach the time, you will see like there's nothing to study anymore. Like there's no materials, there's no textbooks to study anymore. I have done everything. So then you just research the internet for some really niche medium, I guess. If we are talking about English Olympiad, I usually prepare using dictionaries and learning some really niche, some really archaic maybe words to just enlarge my dictionary. But when it comes to grammar, all the other skills like listening and reading, you cannot really practice. So, study the theory for them, you just have to practice. So for the English Olympiads, it's just important to know some really niche topics, some really archaic ones always. The other ones are just only practice.
Yeah, that's an interesting answer. Are competitions stressful or motivating for most students in your region?
I think it always is, and it should be stressful for anyone. I mean, if you come to the competition, if you feel like it was too easy, you don't feel stressed, you don't feel any motivation, you don't have that dopamine, you won't have that sense of competition. I guess competitions should be stressful, and we cannot say that it depends on the person, it never depends on
preparation process, it always should be stressful because you never know what are your competitors. They might be just more smart than you. You may be more experienced, and you can always. I mean, I have a great experience. It's just to my judgment. Like 5 years, but I always stress over my English Olympiads, and I always look at my peers' words, how they speak, and I always pay attention for that. It should be stressful. It's always stressful.
What kinds of rewards encourage students the most?
It's quite intricate because all that motivation stuff, all the diploma stuff is not interesting at all. Everything you can do with a diploma is to write it in your CV or maybe some college application. It's more actual for the senior grades. But I think the most motivational thing is the money reward. Because the last year I went to the National English Olympiad, I got a medal, and I was invited to some event with the mayor, the state mayor, and he gave out us money, maybe like 100,000 a year, and that was the most motivational part. Because this year I wasn't sure if I really want to participate in the Olympiad. I was like, oh, I have UNC coming in, I have SATs and IELTS coming in. I have the college admission stuff, and do I really have time for that? And I always recall the very moment that bank statement, this transfer statement, like your bank account is now 100K more, so yeah, I always get motivated by that. And it shouldn't be considered something bad. I mean, it's capitalist work. We all live and work for money.
This is really good argument. Now it's part 2. You'll have to do on your own. If you have questions, you have half a minute to do here.
I can begin. I want to talk about one competition that was hosted last June in Almaty. It's actually a private competition, an Olympiad, not a state one. It was called My Extra Case Competition. If you know about the field of consulting, business consulting, actually, you know how to, like, when companies ask, like, what we should sell, how we should do the marketing stuff, and the case competitions are proposed for that. So it was my first experience with the case competition. I actually participated in a team, but I was the one actually doing all the stuff because they all were lazy. And for that moment, the only motivation for me was not grades or motivation, not the diploma, because I wasn't sure about that. It's just the fact that the national stage was in Almaty, and they have promised us that they will cover all the finances for that. So it was actually the first time I experienced flight in a plane. The first time I left my city for that long, and the first time I visited a metropolitan city. So it was a wonderful experience because I was the speaker of my team. I was the one actually presenting our project, and actually I think it improved my mediation skills. When they ask you a question, when they like try to challenge you, when they like try to fail you, and you always like answer, because there were like 5 jury members, and I was answering for them, and they just interrupt each other to ask me a question. They just scream at me, and they were like, "Please say thank you. I'll answer you later. I'll answer you later. Let me answer this one. Let me answer this one." And I was called a very brave speaker at the end by the vice rector of one university. Was the jury member. So I remember this stage as the very important growth for me as a speaker, because I'm a CS major, by the way. That's when we talk about the career paths, we have hard skills and soft skills, and soft skills are often more important than hard ones because you have to negotiate. You have a job interview, I guess. You have to learn to mediate, you have to learn to talk to people, and you have to present yourself. So this is why I chose this topic, this competition to discuss about. Actually, I learned nothing from the national stage. There were like 10 teams, but I just valued the experience, and I was just their trip to Almaty. That's mostly all.
Really good. Really good. Okay, now it's time for part 3 discussion. Why do some students give up even before competition begins?
I think it depends on luck because I will judge on my own experience. Because if I haven't won on my first try, I wouldn't try and try like the next time. So sometimes you have to just have enough luck and gain some common sense. It's not about the personal factor, like this person has given up, he's weak now. It never is about that. Actually, we have to move on and to try it ourselves in some other fields. I think that's what it is. You just don't give up. They just change the occupation, destination you choose.
Should communication skills or knowledge skills dominate language Olympiad skills?
Language Olympiads. It depends on the stage because now it's the second stage. We have to know how to talk. We have to have those soft skills. But what actually is about the first stage, we have that use of English thing. We have to know all about the theory of English, the history of English. So they are both more important. Of course, especially when we're talking about Olympiads. Olympiads do not just test like one skill. They test all of your knowledge about the English, language.
Okay. What do you know about competition culture?
Competition culture, it's amazing culture. It's an amazing culture because I think when I went to the National Olympiad, it was not just about winning a medal. It was never just about winning a medal. It's just about people you meet because those competition cultures are very strong because you get to experience what is called networking, and you can gain some really useful peers or friends in there, so you can maybe secure a job position in the future maybe, and you just get to know a lot of people that are really different from you. And when you're not used to any points of view that are different from yours, like the political views, beliefs, traditions, etc., it's really interesting to know other people.
Okay. Fantastic. Never seen us.
Thank you.
Okay. First of all, let's start with Nina.
Pani Rozubaczyli.
This is speaking examination. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Music in language learning. This students in your region listen mostly. What do students in your region listen mostly to, local or global music?
Personally, I think that teenagers listen to global music mostly because there are lots of Hollywood stars and also like European stars, and their songs their genre of these songs are more like the pop, and they are most relative to teenagers. In Kazakhstan, in our local schools nowadays also improving, and adolescents and young population of our country, they are also musicians, young musicians. They are also doing this kind of music, especially pop.
Okay. How often do you hear English in the music teenagers prefer?
For myself, I'm keen on English music, especially when I like American films, and the soundtrack of these films listen every day, and also teenagers like me, I believe that they listen these songs every day because when we're like open TikTok and scroll the TikTok, this went there are also different of more American, more global songs rather than our Kazakh.
Okay. Can your teachers use songs in English classes effectively? Can your teachers use songs in English classes?
Yes, my favorite teacher is my English teacher, and when we're tired of studying in 45 minutes, we listen English songs, but like without bad categories, we listen English songs and do like lyrics and listen together, song in this. Yes.
Do you sing?
Yeah, I can sing.
That's good. All right, now it's time for part 2. You will have to speak on your own. Okay? First, you have half a minute to prepare.
I'm not keen on like one genre of music, like a type of music. I listen different types of music, but I want to describe about one music, especially it's from my favorite film, Stranger Things. There have artist Joe Keep, and his song November 24. It's about memories and people's memories, the happiest moments ever. So when I'm like when I'm missing my home. I live in boarding school, so when I'm missing my home, there have like they're saying you take the man out of the city, not the city out of man. So this saying is really important for me. So I think that English language songs, when you were singing it by karaoke, you can learn new words, and it's also influences to our vocabulary, listening, and pronunciation. We can stop this moment and know about know new words, and we can experiment and get an experience by learning these words and by singing it again and again. So it's a funny and easy way to learn English, I think, especially for vocabulary. And I think that there may be some challenges with learning, like limitations. So there may be some difficulties on learning because there have like different pronunciations. So, but overall, when you are singing by karaoke and doing working with this song, as a consequence, you can learn more words, and you can improve your both vocabulary and listening.
Okay. Now it's part 3, discussion. Why Why are songs easier to remember than other learning material?
I think that just because of its like melody. When you were like singing by one temp, by the melody, it's easier to keep it on your mind.
Okay. Does some language represent real spoken English? Does some language represent real spoken English?
Yes, like we're talking about like English, learning English songs, and when we're listening English songs, we can learn the like nature English pronunciation with songs.
Okay. Should Olympiads include music-based tasks?
Music-based tasks. Like we have listening tasks. Maybe yes, because especially global music and for example, like connecting the tasks with music, like you can listen to music and like write the linking words or something else, and or in completion time.
Okay. All right. That is the end of speaking English. Thank you.
I will do it.
First of all, tell us your name. Okay. This is speaking examination. Are you ready? Great. Have you ever spoken English to foreign tourists?
To be honest, when I was 11, I went to a lesson with my dad, and when we were walking outside, I saw black people, and I was very curious. And at that moment, I was learning English, so I went to them while my dad was standing and witnessing all this happen. And I went to them and used all my English to talk to them. And that was interesting, and I was very inquisitive, by the way, and that was a good experience for me.
What did you say?
That was a good experience for me to talk to people in English. And at that moment, I understood that I wanted to learn English further.
Are international visitors frequent in your city or region?
In our city, I don't think so, but in other Kazakhstan, like in other parts of our Kazakhstan, they're frequent, but in our city, I did not encounter international tourists frequently.
Do students receive enough cultural briefing before interacting with tourists in English?
Cultural briefing?
Explanation or something?
Explanation, no. Just I'm not really interested about other cultures. So in order to understand their cultures, I talk to them. But before talking to them, I don't do this talkings about
No briefing, yeah.
no briefing.
Now you can practice it.
Yes.
All right. Now that is time for part 2, because it's good on your mind. Good questions. Hold on a minute.
Describe a place. I would like to describe my own city since I do not know about other cities a lot. So cultural or linguistic facts. Our culture is is very interesting, and a lot of people are curious about our culture. And linguistic facts, since English and Kazakh are totally different languages, they would definitely encounter cultural shock when they come to our Kazakhstan, when they come to our city. About cultural facts, I think I think there is no big, huge difference between our cultures if tourists come to our city. In linguistic facts, they will not understand what I'm talking about, and possible misunderstandings they may face language misunderstandings because a lot of tourists speak in English, and English is the global language that a lot of people utilize in order to speak to other people. So the only misunderstanding that they will face is the language barrier and other things that will be understandable. And I would like to say that our nation, the people of my city are very hospitable, and they are very inquisitive, and they're welcoming every single guest. And English-speaking guides, they do not limit cultural immersion of international tourists, because if you understand what other people are talking about, it's easy for you to understand their culture. Because if you do not know English, if you do not know our language, English is very helpful, it's very useful. So what they do is they ask questions, they get curious about that and they ask questions, and in the process they understand what they did not understand before. Whether tourism should promote globalization or local uniqueness, globalization is the trend that comes from West, and I think globalization is not a good idea at all, because it is diminishing our local uniqueness. So we need to promote local uniqueness in order to show ourselves, show off our Kazakhstan, our city in the global arena, and that's important. And that way, people from other countries can understand our culture, and they can know about our country, because a lot of people do not know about it. Because I'm also tourism. It's when you go to one specific country, you go to understand their cultural uniqueness, not the globalization trends that you have seen before. And so I would like to tell that my city is, I think it would be really, really interesting for international tourists, and that they need to come, because our nation, our people are very hospitable, and they will welcome everyone.
Fantastic. Now it's time for part 3. Why do some tourist sites become global while others remain local?
Tourist places.
Okay, why do some tourist places become very popular while others are not so popular?
It's because of social media. Social media, some very popular influencer, content creator goes to one specific place and promotes it on social media. People are interested because a lot of the majority of our population, they care about what these bloggers think, what other people think. So in order to follow the trend, in order to blend in, they go to these specific places. And some places remain unpopular because just people, I think, just follow trends and forget about very natural landscapes, very touristic landscapes. So it's because of social media.
Should tourism communication encourage simplified English or culturally rich English?
Culturally rich English, because the reason for this is because everyone
everyone right now can speak simple English, and understanding this culturally rich English will be really interesting, and they will be able to read more books about its history and more. So cultural rich English is way more important than Canada.
Okay. How can Olympiads, or studying, yeah, how can Olympiads incorporate tourism topics while ensuring academic neutrality?
Well,
Okay. How can Olympiads incorporate tourism topics?
in Olympics,
Yeah.
tourism topics, they can gather international tours, for example, World Cup, and they also, for example, the Qatar, we all know in 2022, there was a World Cup in Qatar, and a lot of people, they did not visit Qatar before, and after that World Cup, people started knowing about the existence of this country. Before, they thought that Western globalization just, made their brain foggy, and they thought that Qatar is a very bad place, very terroristical place. And after that, Qatar was like able to show off itself on the global
Arena.
yes, arena.
Yeah, it's one of the richest countries in Africa. Okay. That is the English examination. Okay. First of all, tell us your name.
My name is Aya Shadukenda.
This is speaking examination. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Artificial intelligence. Do you use AI tools to learn English?
Yes, I do. I prepare for some speaking exams with ChatGPT and their voice generator. And also I use them for writing tools to prepare for the structure of essays.
Okay. Are AI applications popular among students in the region?
I think yes, because many students use them, not only for educational purposes, but also for daily stuff.
Okay. What are teenagers' main expectations from AI for language learning?
They expect to hear human life voice from AI, and also AI can help them to give them this educational environment, because not everyone in our country can have the environment to just immerse themselves in knowledge.
Okay. Now it is time for part two. You'll have to speak on your own. If you have any questions, call me. Be prepared.
As I said, AI can support to, and it can help in the way when you immerse yourself in this environment, and also it can help to prepare for basic conversations, provide some interesting topics where you can use resources to learn English, and also AI can help with providing you some videos or photos with rules or another
helpful material, and also it might help you with templates. When you write essays, you should have the structure, and AI can help you to make the structure, to give some linking words, etc. How we make the limit? Well, AI is repetitive. It uses all the materials that are common, that are common in our world, and they use it for learning. AI uses it for learning, so they have, I think, limited information. So it may not change the role of teacher. They just cannot replace the teacher's role. About creativity, yeah, the thing that they are repetitive. About communication, AI, it's not a real human being, so it doesn't have such expectations as human beings have. And also, you should balance AI and independent speaking, because AI just can provide you, can be your tool for preparing for dialogues, but if you have to say monologue, for example, then you should do it yourself by yourself. And AI just can't give you can't give you answers. You should do it by yourself, and you should brainstorm just with your own creativity. That's it, I guess.
Now it's time for part 3. Discussion. Why might AI reduce originality in students' communication?
Because AI uses common topics, they use repetitive tools, materials. It all would be the same without any change, because AI, it's not like human being. It doesn't have creativity or imagination.
Yeah. Should Olympians, you're studying here, Olympiad, should Olympians control access to AI in preparation for speaking parts?
I think no, because AI tools may help you with just preparation. Not everyone has speakers in their houses, so just AI can change that, can substitute this role.
Mm-hmm. How can students develop critical thinking if answers are instantly generated by AI?
They can, well, creativity, you can just think more open-mindedly, just not thinking about the repetitive answers, thinking deeply, also try to use wide kind of topics that are not really repetitive, just niche topics.
Okay. All right. That is the news.
Thank you. Goodbye.
It's okay. First of all, tell us your name.
My name is Erasmus.
This is speaking examination. Are you ready? Okay. Sport and health. Do you enjoy sport or physical activities at school?
To be honest, I don't really like the activities because the only thing we do is play volleyball. So sometimes it may be irritating because we cannot play any other sports, and any physical activities that are part of volleyball are not allowed. I mean, it's not allowed from school. It's our PE teacher just don't let us do any other things.
Okay. How often do students in your school have physical education classes?
So it's I think 3 times per week. So at Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Friday.
Good. Is it easy for teenagers in your region to access sport facilities?
Yeah, I think so. For example, I used to do karate for several years when I was a child, and I've done it for absolutely no charge, so it was free for me. So there was some government support for such kind of activities. So I think they're really available for children.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Now it's time for part 2. You have to speak on your own. If you have questions, how often?
Good. So I'm going to talk about physical activity that may benefit the students' health. So I think that calisthenics is really crucial part of physical activity. It doesn't require any special equipment. So if you don't have any stuff, you can easily do that at your home. So, for example, push-ups, pull-ups are part of calisthenics. So they boost the muscle function. So if you do it regularly, it may strengthen you and build up your muscles. So I used to do it several times a week. So a small training. However, since I'm preparing for final examinations, I stopped to do it this year, at the beginning of this year. In my opinion, it not only boosts the physical condition of students, but also helps to kick back. I mean, if a person is stressed and does some kind of activity, as I mentioned before, push-ups or pull-ups, they may be out of stress. So it will lessen the pressure. So I think schools should provide more such activities to encourage students so they may be physically fit. And as I mentioned before, they will boost the cognitive abilities of students. So they perform way better in examination or during the class, and their minds will be working properly because it spreads lots of hormones in people's body, so it will assist people to perform very well. So I think it's really
really significant part of daily routine. Even though people don't do it every day, they must do it at least 2 times a week.
Good. That's advice. All right. Now it is time for discussion. Why do some students lose motivation for sport as they grow older?
Excuse me, I didn't get the question.
Some students lose motivation for sport when they grow older. Why? Grow older.
What is the motivation?
Why students lose motivation for sport when they become adults?
Motivation. So, in my opinion, this tendency is due to the stress. So, when students turn 18, they have to study for their future career, and they just don't have enough time to do any sport activities. So it may be affected by pressure. So they have to take more responsibilities as they are becoming adults, and sport activities are considered to be not so crucial.
Should academic achievements or physical achievements carry more value than Olympiad?
I think it depends on what type of Olympiad you're talking about. So if it's sport Olympiad, of course, the sport achievements of students should be the main criteria. However, if it's Olympiad for school subject, for instance, math, physics, or chemistry, definitely the school achievements in such kind of subjects should be on first place.
Okay. How can schools balance competition and class?
Competition often requires really hard work. So whenever students try to compete with other students, they tend to weaken their health. So students should be assisted by school principals. So they should have more PE classes in order to boost students' health. So and they should lessen the pressure, academic pressure.
Yeah. Okay. That's the examination. Thank you. Yeah.
Goodbye.
All right. First of all, tell us your name.
My name is Mohammed. Let's go.
Okay, this is speaking examination. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Technology and education. What types of technology do you most commonly use for learning?
Well, the most types of technology that I use commonly for learning is, of course, AI. In today's world, AI is so popular. When I use it, it's very useful. And the second type of technologies is mobile phones. I use them on a regular basis.
Do students in your region rely more on smartphones or computers for English practice?
Well, I believe now that with the development of technologies, people are now more relying on mobile phones rather than computers. Because mobile phones are really, because of the result, you can use it anywhere and it's really comfortable to use and keep it in pockets.
Teachers in your school encourage digital learning?
Well, I'd say they partly encourage digital learning because In today's world, it's really important to learn English through mobile phone because it ensures the right development of pronunciation and also vocabulary.
Okay, interesting. And now it's time for part two. Okay, you'll have to speak on your questions. How many?
Well, the digital tools that I use and that have changed my way of learning English is AI. Well, today I use it mostly because sometimes I don't have access to the real-world teachers. And I use it in a number of ways. Firstly, to correct my grammar mistakes, because I face with the grammar mistakes very often, especially on my writing part. And moreover, I use AI during some speaking parts because it helps me to enrich my vocabulary and make my speech more fluent and according to the coherence. And furthermore, I use AI to teach me some vocabulary words. For example, some long words, some phrases that usually native speakers say. So, and by doing so, I can increase and improve my level of English. And I see that the main advantages and limitations of AI, well, let's start with the main advantages. First is adaptability. So you can adapt, so AI can adapt to your level, whether you are beginner or fully advanced and fluent in English language. And also, one of the most prominent advantages of AI is that it's free. So you don't have to pay anything, and you can use it on a daily basis without any limitations. For example, ChatGPT is very well known and well spread in today's world, and millions of students use ChatGPT to improve their learning skills. And about limitations, even though those AI tools can be quite comfortable and they are famous for their versatility, sometimes they lack the main things that the teachers are well known. Firstly, it cannot correct your pronunciation because it's just an AI tool, it's a computer and a program code. While speaking with a real-world teacher, you can understand your own mistakes, your flaws, and also teacher can make you improve your pronunciation. And one more limitation, it's even though AI can be free, you have a daily limit on the messages. That's why you cannot use it regularly. And I believe that technology cannot fully replace teachers, and this measure will be really important in the near future. Firstly, as I said before, teachers, they can give you something that AI tools cannot give you. It's help with pronunciation. And secondly, AI tools lack the ability of empathy. So teachers can understand the situation of their pupil, and by doing so, they can find the perfect way to teach English for them. And well, that's the reasons. And in conclusion, I believe that even though AI tools can be really useful in today's world, the role of teachers is really crucial in today's world.
Okay. Alright. Now it's time for the what makes technology helpful for language learning? What makes technology helpful for language learning?
Well, the first thing first, technology are important and it makes it useful that they can save your time. So you don't have to go to courses, speak with people, because sometimes people really are scared of social interactions. And so by doing so, it can help you to save your time. And moreover, technology can help you if you in a bad financial situation. So if you cannot afford real courses and technologies, in a way can help you like that.
Okay. Can digital learning increase educational inequality?
Well, I believe that it's in contrast that this educational and digital technologies can decrease the amount of educational inequality. But firstly, it gives the same opportunity to everyone. As, for example, the AI tools, you can for example, if you can't afford a teacher, you can do it with your AI tool, and you can lessen the inequality between you and the richer kids. Secondly, digital tools help you to access the information all over the world. So you don't have to go to libraries, you don't have to search for some unique or special books that contain some special information for your major, for example, or for your interest. And digital tools can help you by doing so.
Okay. How should regional leaders, you're saying again, how should regional leaders integrate technology?
Well, I believe that there are multiple ways how regional Olympiads can integrate technologies into it. Firstly, by adding cameras as we have now, it can ensure that everything will be fair and it excludes a chance of cheating. Secondly, it can raise the effectiveness of the examinators. So, for example, you have your paper, you have your answer paper, and instead of giving it to teachers to check, you can give it to AI or a computer with integrated embedded program, and it can ensure that everything will be clear. And thirdly, it can be useful for people that live in really high access regions. For example, they have to cross 500 kilometers to just take part in a regional Olympiads. I believe it might be unfair for them. That's why by adding some digital tools, for example, some apps that allow to decrease that allow to do online calls, it can help them and benefit.
Okay. That is the end.
Yes, thank you.
My name is Belirkin.
Okay, this is English. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Environmental issues. Yeah, do you understand the phrase environmental issues? What environmental issues do students talk most?
First of all, I think it's air pollution because there's a lot of cars, factories, there are pollution into the air, with which we breathe. And that's actually really harmful for our lungs. And also smoke. A lot of people smoke, and that's actually also could impact this quality of air. And also there's also other kinds of ecological problems like just pollution, like plastic pollution, which could be solved by sorting things, but it's not properly done in our country.
Yeah, that's true. There's also Canada trying to do enough to promote eco-awareness.
I don't think so, because we started studying biology at 7th grade, but still we have like other subjects from primary school that could teach us how to solve ecological problems and how to actually give future generations better environmental quality of life. But in biology, we have a couple of topics talking about this issue, where talking about probably about the fact that there is air is getting a little really worsening, and also climate is changing also. That's because of that.
Have you participated in any environmental project at school?
No, I haven't at school, but I have gone to volunteering projects with my friends. Especially my best friend had opened her own volunteering project called Jasmine, and she and her friend opened it as a group where they collect garbage, and also they were sponsored by local administration.
Now it's time for part 2. You will have to speak on your own. Here are the questions. You have half a minute to prepare. All right.
Well, I would like to talk about tons of garbage collected in our country. Well, I have recently heard that there's around 3 million tons of garbage that we collect all over the country, and that's the biggest ecological issue that I think in our country is now existing. And it is caused by the fact that people are not really aware of a lot of things that could be prevented, like ecological packages, and maybe like not using too much special packages which could harm our environment and are not usually sorted out. And it affects community by that it's burned out in a polygon, and they often don't don't seem to try to sort along and do something different from this. For example, as I know, in China they do synthetics from the garbage and produce articles, while in Europe they have heard that they do Adidas class sneakers from sorted garbage. And I would say that my solution for this problem is inviting people to ecological awareness, to do some workshops where they could learn to sort plastic and other types of garbage all on their own. And maybe possible obstacle here would be not enough budget, but it could also be solved by having talk with administrations and doing a big talk with ecological ministry and this stuff. Well, and to summarize, sum up, I think maybe in the future we will get into like a better, we'll get like down this.
Yeah. Okay, now let's take part 3 discussion. Why do environment campaigns succeed in some schools but fail in others?
I think it depends on school. Like for example, if it's about city schools, there's a lot of opportunities rather than it is in schools located at suburbs, and probably they don't really realize when they're living in fresh air, like while in cities there is a lot of cars and etc.
Okay. Who should carry more responsibility for regional and college? School, family, or local government?
I think it's local government, because they have to collect garbage properly and also probably implement some new laws like that for families to be for families, so that they could implement it in their own family too.
How can student Olympiads, here, yeah. How can student Olympiads raise awareness of environment in English vocabulary?
Maybe there will be more topics about this in writing, where people could prepare for it and write their own opinions. And also this could be used as, the writings could be used as knowing their opinions about ecological issues.
Good. All right. That is the end of speaking definition. Thank you.
Hello. I hope you're not tired to listen to me.
No, don't worry about this. And it's our favorite.
Okay.
Tell us your name first.
I'm Nikinas, Ағылшын.
This is name definition. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How often do students in your region read books?
Well, like when it comes to books, I don't think that it's much popular in our kind of city, for example. I mean, me personally, what I see in my school, most people use online books. Maybe they read from their phones, but generally they're not that much interested in literature. I think they choose mangas, maybe, some things that are kind of connected to films, maybe, but that's not like literature, like in its original sense, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Do you prefer printed books or electronic ones?
Well, honestly, I can't focus my mind on electronic books. That's like, to me personally, I think that it takes up much more energy, or like your eyesight gets worse, I think. But when it comes to books, I love sketching, you know, kind of writing on them, maybe making some notes on the book itself. So I love to highlight a lot. So that's why I prefer like original books.
Pictures.
Yeah, pictures and everything.
Is English literature part of your school's advanced learning program?
Well, my school is actually kind of aimed at our United National kind of test, so that's why I wouldn't say that we're kind of into that. But me personally, I do love the idea of putting that kind of scheme in our school. I think that would be good.
Nice answer.
Yeah.
Now it is time for part 2. You have to speak on your own.
I have
questions. How about
Okay. Okay, so I would like to start. So the book that I read, I actually read a book called 12 Years a Slave. If you know, it also has a film. It's about like dark times in America, where when people used to be slaves, had slaves, and like a lot of dark history upon them, right? And it was actually like in English because the story was generally happening in Africa or America, like close places. And what I learned from it is that it was, first of all, it was an autobiography. So I learned like the life of the person. It was, I can't really remember the name, I can't recall the name, but it was about a guy that was actually free and not a slave, but only because of his skin color he was kind of accused of that, and he was used in like domestic violence and different things. And generally, I think that when it comes to fiction, I wouldn't say that the book is fiction, it's autobiography, so it's real, but when it comes to fiction, I think that fiction does improve people's fantasies and how they imagine things, for example. And I would say that science fiction books are much better than films, because in books you use your own imagination and you're not limited with CGI or effects. So, yeah. I would say that this book left a really important kind of message in my mind, that sometimes people misunderstood things, and you have to kind of fight for your own sake. That's my message.
Great. Now the second part 3, discussion. Why do some readers find foreign literature difficult, even when the grammar is not complex?
Could you repeat that?
Why do some readers find foreign literature difficult, even when the grammar is easy?
Well, you know, for me, foreign literature it might be about French, maybe, or English literature. And honestly, I think that people tend to think that it's difficult, not because of the grammar, not because of the language itself, but mostly because of their views on different things. So I would look at a person who's like a foreigner is completely different from yours, because the life is different, the culture is different, and that's why people might think that it's more kind of challenging to read them or to understand them. No, like nonetheless, of their grammar. So yeah.
Does translated literature affect students' ability to think critically?
For sure, I definitely agree with that, because translating more information from other languages, depending on your field of interest, it does improve your knowledge generally. I think critical thinking is one of the most important parts that translation actually improves. So I'd say that advanced translation can advance the school scheme as well. So yeah, I agree with that.
Nice. Now, question about Olympiad.
Okay.
Should Olympiads include literature discussion?
Well, honestly, I wouldn't want to offend you, but I don't think so. Well, literature is like a specific knowledge. Let's say it's another field than just language. Language is mostly about linguistics, about how we understand the culture, but literature is not that complex, I think, to talk about.
topics.
I don't know, yeah, I'm not the right person to.
All right.
Okay, it was nice meeting you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Кеше мен өшіріп кеттім.
Неме?
Завершить трансляцию ма? Жасай.
Завершить.